Well, let's bring in good friend of the show and good friend of mine, folks, Megyn Kelly. And look at that beautiful, beautiful new set, journalist and host of the Megyn Kelly Show on YouTube. Megyn, beautiful new set. Congratulations on the massive success of your show across so many platforms. Wall Street Journal says now, across all voters, not just Democrats, mind you, 73% of all voters believe Joe Biden is too old to run for president in 2024. They had 43% for Trump. But, you know, we've been talking about this. You and I have talked about this for quite a while on this show and on yours. I don't think he was going a year back. I think we could have predicted. We probably did predict it a year ago. Megyn, today he walked out of a Medal of Honor ceremony before the end of it. He doesn't know where he is. But I've held this. Call me wrong. Call me crazy. I think the Democrats are letting him fail on TV on purpose so that when they do make the announcement, he's gone, someone else is in, we won't be surprised. Your thoughts?
What happened today was horrifying. I mean, truly, how's he going to run the country when he can't even run a Medal of Honor ceremony? He can't do anything. He looked completely lost. All he had to do was stand there, Eric. It wasn't like he had a hard task in front of him. He just had to stand there. He missed the end of it. There was a prayer to close out the ceremony. He's done it before. He knows what to do. He doesn't remember. He's losing his faculties before our very eyes. And it's sad. It's sad. It's sad for us that we're all going to have to deal with this as the citizenry while the leader of the free world, our president, deteriorates before our very eyes. How's he going to run economic policy? Why do you think he's getting the numbers he's getting on approval ratings and likability and inflation? My God, people understand he's not competent to handle it. And, you know, just not for nothing either, but like the freak out about Mitch McConnell, which I understand. I share in the concerns about Mitch McConnell and what we've seen these past 6 weeks. But the people who didn't call out Joe Biden can spare me. The people who didn't call out John Fetterman, the people who didn't call out Dianne Feinstein, they can spare me because Joe Biden can't put two sentences together. He can't get himself through a Medal of Honor ceremony. He can't walk up the stairs. We could keep going down the list. Mitch McConnell had 2 instances where he froze, all right, for 30 seconds and seemed to zone out. That's not great, but you can't even compare it. So on this front, I look at these, I'm like, you first. Why don't you get rid of DiFi? Let her leave the Senate. Let John Fetterman leave the Senate. Why do the Republicans have to get rid of their top guy who's been instrumental in steering all these great justices to the Supreme Court, to other federal courts? Why does he have to go first? I'm curious why you're so very concerned about him, but you couldn't care less about the guy who's in the Oval Office, right? So just when you say anything about Joe Biden, you get accused of ableism, you get accused of ageism. And this latest Wall Street Journal poll proves exactly how it's neither of those things. Because the same people, 72% don't think that Joe Biden can do it. Those same people think Trump can. A majority of people believe Trump is going to be just fine, even though he's only 3.5 years younger than Joe Biden. It's not based on age. They have no problem with age. It's individual. It's based on a case-by-case situation, and Joe Biden's not measuring up. So the numbers are devastating for him. The worst thing I saw in that Journal poll is not even the 72%. It's the fact that 2/3 of Democrats don't think he can do it. They think he's too old to be the president, and they're right.
You know, I think this is all a big look over here. Keep your eyes focused on the guy who's wandering around with dementia, doesn't know where he's going. He walks off stages before the end of ceremonies, calls out dead people. The Democrats aren't stupid. Let's not pretend they're stupid. They know what they're doing. Yeah. They're letting him flounder. They're letting him flop in the wind. They're letting him look like he's gone, so we continue to focus on him. Meanwhile, Megyn, look, he spent 40% of his presidency on vacation. That's another weekend, 28% of his days are weekends where he has absolutely nothing on his schedule. He doesn't do anything. Today, he was asked by Ducey over at Fox in the briefing room, KJP roll that soundbite about his time on vacation. Was he going to go to East Palestine or not? Listen to what she said.
He hasn't had the occasion to go to East Palestine. I just haven't been able to break. The derailment was on February 3rd. President Biden has not had a break since February 3rd.
The president will go to East Palestine. He promised that he would, and he will. You saw him.
So he was not on a break when he was in Lake Tahoe?
I will say this again. The president is going to go to East Palestine, as he has said that he is committed to do.
I'll let you weigh in on that. But again, 40%, almost 65% of his life has been on vacation or on a weekend, Megyn.
Oh, now he's claiming it's because he doesn't have a home, because the Secret Service are doing renovations on his Delaware home, and therefore he has no place to go but his vacation home in Rehoboth Beach, Well, how does that explain Lake Tahoe and Tom Steyer's house? Walk me through it. I'd love to hear it because, like, saw you at the Pilates studio and saw you at the beach. Did not see you in East Palestine, Texas. I'm sorry, Ohio. And I think I won't see you there until and unless the presidential race ramps up and you think Ohio might possibly be in play. Yes, it won't be. So that's why. I mean, if that happened, the East Palestine thing happened in Pennsylvania, he would have been there. If it had been Wisconsin, if it had been Michigan, if it had been Arizona, he would have been there. He accurately predicts that Ohio's red, it's Trump country, it's not gettable, and therefore he doesn't care. That's what's happened there. He was only shamed into going to Ohio.
He's going to get there. As soon as he gets a break from that demanding schedule of 40% of his life on vacation. Megyn, I think it was on your show. We said, what's going to happen? I don't think he's going to make it. Then who? And we talked Michelle Obama. Now, this is a long time ago. We talked about it's starting to bubble up. Boy, wouldn't the Obamas love that, another return to the White House? What do you thoughts of her replacing Joe Biden?
Well, there are a lot of people who think the Obamas are already running the government and that there's some sort of a shadow puppet situation going on that they're controlling, because there's been questions from the beginning. Is it Joe Biden really making the calls? I think Michelle Obama is seen as a savior figure by the Democrats. They think she's the most beautiful person ever. They think she's the strongest leader. They think she's their big hope. However, she's also going to motivate Republicans. And how? And I'm sure, she'll say, oh, I'm motivating to them because they're all racists, all the Republicans. No, it's because you don't like America. And it's not just from your weird comments when Barack was running that for the first time in my life, I'm really proud of my country. Just recently, she talked about how she didn't wear her hair naturally curly because she knew this racist country couldn't take it. She knew that the country wasn't ready, that somehow we couldn't accept her hair. Really? I mean, it's the same country that made Oprah Winfrey an absolute billionaire. And I watched that show daily, and Oprah wore her hair however the hell she wanted. But this woman has no faith in the goodness of Americans, at least not if they have the little R after their name as opposed to the little D. So I do think they should be careful because Michelle Obama may not be quite the skilled politician they hope she is.
But the puppeteer may be Barack Obama. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, I brought my Constitution because my dear friend Megyn Kelly, they're now talking about the 14th Amendment to prevent Trump from becoming president. The way that would work they would have to list the 14th Amendment. I read it, and I'm trying to figure out how this applies as a lawyer. Maybe you can help me. Section 3 of the 14th Amendment reads, no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president. And then it goes down, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid or comfort to the enemies therein. So you literally have to prove Trump is an insurrectionist. Now, Megyn, all these lawsuits that the two state lawsuits, the two federal lawsuits, not one of them have ever once claimed that Trump is an insurrectionist. How are they going to use the 14th?
No. He hasn't been charged with that, nor could he be charged with that. And this is clearly a provision designed to get at those who had participated in the Confederacy during the Civil War. It's very obvious. I mean, if you look at it, in the next breath, it talks about emancipated slaves. Well, as far as I know, we're not dealing with that problem in today's day and age. It was meant to deal with a specific problem at the specific time. And I think that'll be reflected in any sane court decision. There could be some hothead on the federal district court in some blue state that finds otherwise, but that'll work its way up to the U.S. Supreme Court. And this will be a no-brainer for them. They're going to say that doesn't apply. I mean, I'll predict that right now easily. And it could be more than a 6-3 vote. I mean, it could the liberals, it could be unanimous on this. It's such an absurd argument. This is the act of desperation. Yes, they keep pointing out it's written by, two conservative former judges. Well, yeah, there's a lot of conservatives who hate Trump. Have you ever heard of the Never Trump movement? Have you heard of Kinzinger or Liz Cheney or the Lincoln Project? These are all Republicans who hate Trump. And it doesn't mean that their legal analysis is sound. The Constitution lays out very clearly what it takes to be president. You have to be 35 years old and you have to be born in the United States. That's it. There's no extra requirement that you not have provided aid to somebody engaging in an insurrection, et cetera. That was, as I said, a specific provision designed to attack a specific set of circumstances. And the court considers the history behind the amendments and the provisions when interpreting them. So this is a loser. And it stinks of desperation.
Yeah, it doesn't. But can you imagine, though, legally, I think you're clearly right, and you're the legal scholar here, the legal mind here, but can you imagine just in practical life if they tried to do that? You want to talk about the right coming out in force to make sure that it's incredible, these ideas. That
And then you get an insurrection.
Then you might
If they
get
bounce him out on that, then you are going to get an insurrection.
That might be what it would take to cause the insurrection that they're so desperately looking for. Megyn Kelly, again, congratulations on the phenomenal success of your show. Thank you for being here. And folks, don't forget, you can watch Megyn's show every weekday, YouTube, from noon to 2 p.m. Always great content. Thank you, Megyn.
Great to see you.